Hello, Tiger fans. Welcome to Tigers Roar. Yes, we are live and in living color from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. He is the very dapper Jonathan Poche. I am Jordy Helper. Great to be with you, buddy. It's a great time. We saw the mic'd up version of Beth Torina getting a win over Florida. How about that?
Wasn't that fun? Beth Torina being able to show some spirit at the end, gives a smile. I mean, it's no better time to be wrong. We try to hold up a runner and then get the walk-off win. Yeah, big SEC win against Florida. It's just a fun way to start Tigers Roar.
First time since 2007 that LSU beat Florida at home in a softball series. And I don't know how many times this has happened, but LSU baseball is in Athens, Georgia this weekend. So is LSU softball. But that all pales in comparison to what's about to take place tomorrow at 11:40 a.m. It's time to hoop it up. It's time to go dancing in the NCAA tournament.
Can't stay up late drinking tonight. Got to wake up early and watch this LSU Tigers take on the Yale Bulldogs in what might be an exciting matchup between two teams that really like to get up and down the court.
Yeah, it's not your typical version of an Ivy League school where everybody thinks, oh, they're going to just backdoor cut you and they want the game in the 60s. This team averages over 80 points a game. It should be exciting up and down the floor. We'll get a scouting report on the Yale Bulldogs shortly. Josh Hess is the ESPN Plus play-by-play announcer of Yale. Yale doesn't have a radio broadcast team. And the other thing that's interesting, in the Ivy League, you play back-to-back. You play Friday, Saturday. They take that academic stuff very, very seriously. So they're very used to a quick turnaround, a quick study of your next opponent, and all that. So you see Yale against Cornell in the conference tournament.
And I tell you, Yale has really become a quiet sleeper for a lot of national analysts. They got some NBA talent, a big guard that they can score the ball, Oni, Mie Oni. I mean, that's going to be a name you're going to hear in the future. He's really long and he can shoot it. He knows how to get to the rim and dunk that basketball. Also a Southern tie on the Yale Bulldogs. That's right, Mr. Trey Phil, son of Southern legend, Bobby Phil.
That's exactly right. What makes Yale difficult is, look, they're a 14 seed for a reason. But what makes them difficult, they have bigs that can step out and shoot the basketball. And in college basketball with the three-point line, if you have a good shooting day, anything can happen. But LSU's more athletic, more talented. They just have to come ready to play. So we'll hear more about Yale as the show progresses along those lines. What else do we have coming up today?
Well, we have that big SEC gymnastics tournament in New Orleans, Louisiana. First time since 1998 that'll be held in the state of Louisiana. That's Coach Didi's Bro ready to get going at SEC tournament.
They've sold 9,000 tickets so far. I think the Smoothie King Center, you put the apparatus in there, that takes away some of the seating, but it's going to hold at least 15,000, 16,000. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to walk up, buy a ticket. LSU is at 7 p.m. on Saturday. There's two rotations. There's four teams in the early afternoon session. They're not dumb. They're going to put LSU at night when they want the biggest crowd. So LSU will be at 7 o'clock, and the top two teams will survive and advance to the next round.
LSU able to move into number 3 spot nationally. They pick up the 1 seed in the SEC tournament. They'll be in the evening session, as you mentioned, with Florida, Kentucky, and Georgia. 7 o'clock, Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. Yeah, exciting time.
That'll be fun. I talked to Didi today. She's very, very excited. This was a team that kind of started off slowly. Some injuries that hadn't healed yet, and now they seem to be peaking at the right time of year. Is LSU baseball back? They swept Kentucky. Do you take that with a grain of salt? Kentucky's not exactly the upper echelon of the SEC, but LSU took care of business, pitching early, hitting late.
That's true. Kentucky isn't in the top tier of the SEC. A lot of great baseball in the SEC. What was encouraging was the LSU pitching, limiting the walks for Kentucky. That doubleheader when the game Friday night got rained out, only used 4 pitchers on Saturday in the 2 games.
That's remarkable.
That's a big deal. Save that bullpen for really, I mean, this number 11 team, Georgia, just around the corner.
Yeah, that's going to be
Lot
different. They've
different.
got Nichols tonight as
Right.
as we are taping the show as we speak, and then off to Georgia for 3. So it's a busy calendar. We haven't even touched upon LSU football, but apparently, in the words of Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
That's
because Ed Orgeron got paid.
That's right. Big incentive for Coach O. You're going to have a lot of gumbo over at the Ogeron house. Somebody's going to serve it on a silver platter, I believe.
$4 million, got a 2-year extension, so he's getting paid. Coach Bush is getting a $50,000 raise. Joe Brady's going to get $400,000 fresh off the Saints, and so that's terrific. But it all pales in comparison. It all pales in comparison to our boy, Alex Bregman.
That baseball money.
Of the Houston Astros.
That's right. You got that baseball money.
It's not officially official, but 5-year, $100 million. And he just signed a new deal with Adidas.
Right.
So you put that on top of it, and there it is. 5 years, my higher mathematical prowess tells me that's $20 million a year. And he's getting a $10 million signing bonus on top of that.
Look, the second largest contract pre-arbitration in baseball history. Mike Trout signed 6 years, $144 million back in his 3rd year. But look, that's a huge deal for Alex Bregman. Astros putting a lot of faith in that young man.
It's a win-win for both. It's the second highest contract in Houston Astro organization history. Jose Altuve, $151 million. There was about 3 weeks ago where there was this big brouhaha that they weren't going to pay Bregman, and he was very unhappy. Well, obviously, they had a plan in place, and they let that out of the bag now. So I'm sure Bregman's very happy. The Astros are very happy. He's very young, so that by the time this contract expires, he'll be ready to hit the bonanza of bonanzas. Not bad for a kid from New Mexico who, at his bar mitzvah when he was 12, said, I want to play Major League Baseball, and I want to help the game of baseball. I think he's helping himself, and in return, I think he's going to use some of that money to help promote the game with the youth that want to play baseball.
All right. I mean, you hear the veterans on his team talk about Alex Bregman. They say they haven't been around a guy who eats, sleeps, and dreams about baseball.
He
doesn't just want to be great. He wants to be one of the all-time greats. Gotta love how he works. A very young player, as you mentioned. First All-Star game last year, was voted the MVP. No doubt. Coach Paul Mainieri says he can't play in the game without somebody noticing how special he is. He just can't get by one game without seeing how special he is.
So congratulations to Alex. Alex, if you want to lend me a little bit, I'm here for you. I'll take care of it. There's a lot of things I could use it on. Trust me. Have you filled your bracket out? Do you have it all ready to go?
I have to tell you the truth. I don't even waste my time getting wrong on those brackets. I used to fill out 5 or 6 of them, but no, I see how it plays out. I mean, you can't get right on it, even if you got lucky. So what's the point? What's the point?
Okay, well, some people.
Oh, people love it.
Love that stuff.
Fill out 14, 15
millions
of them.
and millions of people do it. I don't do that. I just don't. I kind of have a feeling that this is going to be a year of not a lot of low seeds doing a lot of damage. So you got 3 ACC teams in the as number 1 seeds, with Duke the overall number 1. Virginia, North Carolina, you've got Gonzaga there. You've got 7 schools from the SEC, and Greg Sankey's going, come on, keep winning, because the more they win, the more the schools get paid, the more goes into that SEC bank, and the more schools will get at the end of the year when they have their distribution of money in upwards of $40 million.
If I were filling out a bracket, Zion and the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, that kid is unreal. He's unreal.
He's unreal, but let me just tell you about this tournament now.
Oh, yeah.
They are the worst three-point shooting team in the field. The worst.
Believe it.
And they are a very poor free throw shooting team. So let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to zone them, and they're going to pack it in tight, and they're going to put 2 on Zion, and they're going to say, okay, guys, beat us.
I believe every word you're saying. The only thing I'm thinking about is that 2 times they played North Carolina before the ACC tournament. No Zion the first 2.
North Carolina beat the heck out of them.
No Zion the first 2.
Last one, how much they win by?
Look, all I'm saying is
2, and Carolina had a shot at the end to win it.
No matter how many guys, no matter how many Tar Heels they put in between Zion and the basket, that man is just too strong to keep away from the hoop. He can finish. I mean, the dunking is unbelievable,
Yeah.
but his short game is nice.
They're going to pack it in and see if Duke can do it. And I'm not saying Duke can't,
No.
but I'm saying look out. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
Right.
And that means you don't have LSU getting to the Final Four. Oh, well, there you go. Boot them out of here.
Hey,
I'm kidding. But I just want LSU. Look, the most important thing, you can't look ahead. You got to win
the
first game. And
Yep.
this is a very inexperienced group. Only Cavell Bigby Williams has any kind of postseason education.
That's correct.
And he played only a limited role for Oregon a couple of years ago. On the other side, Yale has 4 players, 4 seniors that were part of the 2016 team that beat Baylor, lost to Duke. Now they played small roles as well, but they've been there. So you got to get to that first TV timeout. They're going to all be expending energy that they've never expended before. It is unlike anything else you've ever played in, and you got to get to that first TV timeout. Then things will settle in. And again, if LSU plays their game, they're better than Yale. If they don't, we got another white knuckler.
Right. I mean, Yale has a great head coach, and James Jones been there 20 years.
He's good.
A guy that Will Wade would be familiar with if he was in the huddle since his time at Harvard back in 2009.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, there's
Strength
a
of
comparison.
schedule, advantage LSU. And net, advantage LSU. Points per game, very similar. Opponents' points per game, very similar. And the free throw percentage, very similar. The only thing that's not similar, LSU plays a much tougher schedule than Yale. That's it. So they're a 14 seed for a reason. LSU's a 3 seed for a reason. But you still got to go play the game.
Still got to go play.
I can remember playing in the NCAA tournament. We were a 2 seed, and we played Alcorn State. I think the score was 99-91. It was about as stressful as you get.
Barn burner.
Everybody can play in this tournament, and those smaller schools, they want to prove to the world that they belong, and they would love nothing more than to upset a highly ranked Power 5 school. LSU will be ready to go. I feel very good about them. And then we know that if LSU is successful on Thursday at 11:40, they will play the winner of Maryland and Belmont. Belmont beat Temple in the play-in game, and so Maryland and Belmont will get going after that.
Belmont, a team that I don't know much about.
They're good. They have a great coach.
Great coach.
They're from Nashville, Tennessee, and they play really good basketball. They share the basketball. They're good ball handlers, really good shooters. That's a dangerous ball club.
I have to imagine LSU has better athletes than the Belmont Bruins.
Oh, yes. But, again,
got to lace them up.
you ask Virginia about last year. Ask them.
Too soon?
Ask them.
Too soon.
Ask Georgetown back in the day when Ben Jobe was coaching Southern and almost pulled off. Stranger things have happened. So you got to play. But if LSU plays their game, they'll be just fine.
A bit of an omen that LSU goes back to Jacksonville.
Very much so. 2006.
That's right.
John Brady coaching, Tasman Mitchell, Glenn Big Baby Davis, Garrett Temple and likes. That was the start of their NCAA Final Four run, and it started again. They beat Texas A&M. Darryl Mitchell hit about a 20-footer at the buzzer for the win. So here again, a highly ranked LSU team had to fight, claw, scratch to get by A&M. That's before A&M was in the SEC. You got rid of that first game, then they cruised past Iona, and then they upset Duke.
J.J. Redick.
Upset Duke.
JJ.
That's it. Garrett Temple on J.J. Redick. That was all she wrote.
That's right. J.J. Redick, the darling of America during college baseball that season. Basketball that season.
He still has a very nice NBA career.
He made himself a good career. He really did.
He's gone from, you mentioned Duke and you mentioned J.J. Redick. There's Christian Laettner, J.J. Redick, all Wojciechowski, whatever his name is, Wojo, all hated and despised by America.
Yeah.
And the best of them all, Zion Williamson, is beloved.
Right.
They have turned Duke from the villain into the team that everybody likes. because of his smile, his ability, and his uniqueness.
His YouTube viralness on his dunks in high school won over America. They couldn't wait for this guy to go to college. It didn't matter where he was going to go. They were going to be excited to sit and watch him slam the basketball.
Yeah.
He had too much of a following as a young man in high school not to be popular in the NCAA.
The most since LeBron.
Yeah,
The
without
most
a doubt.
since LeBron. All right, we're going to take our first time out of the day. When we come back, we're going to go talk about the Yale Bulldogs with their play-by-play voice on ESPN Plus. Josh Hess will join us next. So stay with us. Where are we?
Scoreboards, got to come check it out.
What are we eating?
I don't know what we're eating today.
Crawfish?
It's going to be something good. They have the crawfish.
Yep.
Don't know if we're going to get any. I
No, we
ate too
won't.
many last time.
We won't.
Look, I made a mess over my shirt. It was a scene.
Crawfish, snow crabs, the best sliders you've ever had. And here, we started in 2018, we're in 2019, and we're rolling. We're on Corsi Boulevard, next to Anton's Fine Jewelry Store, and a lot more. So come on back, come on out and join us. We'll be here for a while coming up on the program. We'll talk about the Yale Bulldogs. So sit tight, relax. Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Heltberg. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Going golfing. Ooh. Off to golf.
You're picking that up.
Off to the range, honey.
Bye.
Whoa. Oh, that was close. Glad you got the backup camera installed.
Yep.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Jordy Heltberg for Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market at 12451 Old Jefferson Highway. Chairman's Reserve steaks, their pork, their chicken, their seafood, top of the line. Primo barbecue pits, Icy Tech coolers. They can go anywhere and cater anything for you. Go to 751-7665 to call Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market, where good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Market.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every one.
We are back on Tigers Roar from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. Once again, Jonathan Poche. I am Jordy Heltberg. And again, tomorrow, Thursday at 11:40 a.m. Central Time, LSU begins its journey in the NCAA tournament, taking on the Yale Bulldogs. Yale, the winners of the Ivy League tournament, in which they beat Harvard on their home court after losing to Harvard during the regular season twice. So sweet revenge for the Bulldogs. And joining us now to give us a little inside information on Yale is the ESPN Plus play-by-play voice of the Yale Bulldogs, Josh Hess. And Josh, we greatly appreciate your time on a busy day, and thank you. How are you, Josh?
I'm doing well, guys. No problem. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So, how sweet was it to beat the arch rival Harvard in the most important game of the year, and that's the game that gets you into the tournament?
Yeah, I think if I'm a player on Yale, I don't think there's any words to describe it. Harvard beat Yale in a thriller earlier this season in New Haven on a buzzer beater. Really, Yale took the lead with like 5 seconds to go. Harvard drove down the floor and hit a buzzer beater to win it. So for Yale to come from behind and beat Princeton in the first round of the Ivy tournament and then face Harvard for the third time this season and win, really the only one that mattered against Harvard this season.
Right.
I think it was probably the best win all year for Yale.
We're looking at Yale now as we speak, and this is not your typical Ivy League team. This is not your Pete Carrill Princeton backdoor, score 60 points and go home, right?
No, this is a run-and-gun type team. They are not a slow-paced squad by any means. In terms of overall athletic ability, I think this Yale team is probably the most athletic, most well-rounded team out of the Ancient Eight.
Josh, a guy we're hearing a lot about here in Baton Rouge that he might have some NBA talent is Mr. Oni. What's his game about?
Yeah, Mie Oni is really good overall. He's a 6'6" guard. He can guard the 1 through the 4. He can play the 1 through the 4, really, if James Jones asks him to do it. So his game over the last few years has just really taken off to the point where Mike Krzyzewski, after Duke played Yale in the non-conference schedule, said that Oni could be a first-round draft pick. ESPN has him projected as a potential second-round pick if he were to leave Yale after his junior season. But overall, he's just so athletic. He can jump out of the gym. He's the type of player that can just put highlight reel dunk after highlight reel dunk throughout a game and just really electrify the crowd. He can play well off the bounce, off the dribble, catch and shoot kind of player. He's got a great mid-range jump stroke and one of the best three-point shooters in the Ivy League as well.
Josh, I'm going to kind of play a similarity game with you. Everybody talks about LSU when they talk basketball. They think of Tremont Waters, who's a New Haven, Connecticut kid right there in your backyard, and they think of Naz Reid. But to me, the guy that really makes them go when he plays well is Skylar Mays. Everybody puts all the attention on Oni. Do you have a certain player like a Skylar Mays that if he plays well, you know you're going to be okay?
Yeah, first of all, about Tremont Waters, James Jones, the head coach for Yale, really recruited the heck out of him. But Tremont wanted to go Power 5 instead. I think for Yale, in terms of a spark plug, it's Alex Copeland on the offensive side, a senior leader for the Bulldogs, one of the 2-point guards for Yale, and he's just so good off the dribble and creating his own shot, where really these days in the NBA especially, you see that the mid-range jump shot is a dying art, and that's something that Alex Copeland has really specialized in this season. Against Harvard, the Bulldogs found themselves down midway through the second half, and I think it was like 3 or 4 straight possessions. Copeland just kept the ball himself, drove down the floor, pulled up within 10, 12 feet of the basket, and knocked down an elbow jumper. So Alex Copeland is just a really emotional leader for Yale and a real good shooter when the Bulldogs ask him for it. And on the defensive side, it's Trey Fills. As a senior, he's really pushed his pride aside, wants the best for his team at this point, and his main focus is just locking down the opponent's best guard and taking away their number 1 threat.
Josh, if we know that Yale likes to get up and down the floor, but when they get into a half-court set, I know you've got bigs that can stretch the floor. Do we do a lot of pick and pop, pick and roll? How would you describe the offensive attack?
Yeah, I think everybody on the floor for Yale, regardless of what 5 James Jones has out there, is not afraid to shoot the 3, which can really mess up some defenses when you have a 6'10", 7-footer underneath to pull him out all the way to the three-point line. That can really disrupt the defensive flow. So really it starts with Oni, but it also is Jordan Bruner for Yale, who's a 6'10", forward for the Bulldogs. He missed all of last year with a knee injury, and he's probably just as athletic as Mie Oni, but he doesn't always show it because he's much taller than Oni. It's not always for him to kind of go up as high as he could. But you look at Zion Williamson and the way he can jump. Jordan Bruner is right there, just a couple pegs under Zion.
Wow.
So if you put an ISO cam on him, I think you'll be really impressed with the way he plays. He shoots the three really well. So I think you will see some pick and roll action from the Bulldogs, but overall you'll see a lot of hard-nosed, tough play underneath from the rotating bigs, and some good three-point shots off-ball screens tomorrow.
Defensively, is it a man team? Does Coach mix things up? What do they do normally?
No, he is not in the Jim Boeheim playbook by any means. He is all man-to-man, and that's because he's just got such athletic and long guards that can do that. You talked about Oni a few minutes ago. He's 6'6", and he can guard anybody you need him to. Trey Phil's maybe slightly undersized against a Power 5 team, but defensively, he's not going to let anybody push him around. And the three rotating primary big men underneath, Blake Reynolds, Jordan Bruner, and Paul Atkinson, aren't afraid either. So you may look at this team and think, oh, they're Yale, they're an Ivy League squad, they're all academics, they're not tough, but you would be 100% wrong with that mindset.
I love it. Where does this rank, basketball? I mean, I know when y'all do that, the regatta and the skulls and all that, right? That's big time up there, but what is the feeling in New Haven about this basketball team and the success they've had?
Yeah, I think this is the talk of the town right now. Yale made the tournament a couple years ago when this senior class was the freshman class, and they upset Baylor that year before losing to Duke. So before that, it had been decades since Yale had last made the NCAA tournament, and for one class to be able to do that twice during their 4-year collegiate career, I think is really impressive. It's a great boost for Yale. And overall, when you compare it to the game that Yale plays every year against Harvard in football, this past year was at Fenway Park. You know, you've got two of the most historic college football programs in the country. This game is probably, or the win against Harvard in the Ivy tournament to win it all, and now these NCAA tournament games are right up there with the game against Harvard in football.
We talked earlier, and you made a great point, I think. You know, the NCAA tournament is a quick turnaround. If you get past the first game, Ivy League schools, they take that academic stuff very, very seriously. You play on a Friday, and then you play again on a Saturday, and then you go back to school.
Yeah, this is, I think, a good situation for Yale when you look at an NCAA tournament type play, and there are no athletic scholarships in the Ivy League. So if you're going to go to one of the 8 programs, you have to be a good student. All of these guys are on Yale. They're all very well spoken, very friendly, very polite, great students, and great ballers. So when you have that Friday, Saturday back-to-back, it's tough. It's little time to prepare. Even with the NCAA tournament, there's not a whole lot of time to prepare. You get your selection on Sunday, then you travel on Monday, and you're playing 2 or 3 days later. So for Yale, they're ready to go. James Jones is doing his homework. He's getting his guys prepped, and I think those back-to-back schedules in the Ivy League really help Yale in this sense.
Well, what's the average SAT score amongst the team? I mean, it's got to be some ridiculous number.
You know, I don't know, and I've never asked, but I can tell you that in the press conferences and when we do some post-game conversations, they use some words that I'm very surprised student-athletes know, because I have to look them up later.
That's awesome. Josh, where do you see an advantage for? There's a lot of similarities, how many points you score, how many points both teams give up. It's a Power 5 school against an Ivy League school, so people may say there's a difference there. But where do you see Yale having an advantage in this ball game Thursday?
Yeah, I think the advantage kind of comes back to the preparation format when you see that Yale, their senior class, has made the NCAA tournament before, and I think there's only one guy on LSU who has played in the NCAA tournament before. So, in my opinion, the best time to be an upperclassman, a junior or a senior in college basketball is in November and is in March. And Yale's got 3 very strong seniors to lead the team and a couple more seniors, emotional leaders off the bench. Mie Oni is a junior, and a couple other juniors and sophomores that are big contributors. So it's a very experienced team, and I think that the experience plus a 300 wins for their head coach, James Jones, will really come into play.
Josh, tell me one thing. I've never seen the campus, and I want to go and see it, but tell me one thing that you love about Yale University.
Yeah, I've got 2 things for you, actually. One is just off campus. If you haven't heard about it and you haven't read or seen it in the news ever, New Haven, Connecticut actually has the #1 rated pizza in America. So
No way.
That's right.
The pizza in New Haven is tremendous. Yeah, it's
Hey, one bite, everybody knows the rules. That's right. One bite, everybody knows the rules.
Is it a thin
Yeah,
pizza? Is it a thick pizza? What is it?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to stop at just one bite. And the
That's
other
right.
is that the college was founded, back 300-400 years ago. So just
Wow.
all the buildings they've got that Gothic style, big
Uh-huh.
stone archways and pillars and beams and just tall points everywhere. So all the buildings, the campus, it's just so historic, and the city has kind of built its way around the campus. So everything's infused. You've got some nice greens and walking areas and
I bet.
everything like that. Just beautiful buildings and architecture.
Wait, we got to get back to the pizza.
That's
thing.
right, that's
Is
right.
it a thin crust pizza? Is it a pie? What is it?
Yeah, so it's all brick oven is the way you have to go in New Haven, and it makes it like a thin, crispy crust.
Ooh.
And it's really good, and it's easy to just kind of scarf down an entire pie by yourself because of that. You don't get filled up with the crust. You're able to enjoy the sauce and the cheese and any toppings you put on there. So
Starving.
I average pizza more often than I think any person should.
Josh, I have heard through social media that it is the capital of the world, pizza capital of the world. A lot of heavy hitters out there. Tell me, what is your favorite pizza restaurant to go to in New Haven, Connecticut?
Yeah, man, that's so tough. It depends on what kind of pie I'm in the mood for.
Okay.
If I want to go classic cheese, I'll go to Pepe's, which is
I've heard of
like one
Pepe's.
So their white clam pizza has
Right.
been ranked #1 in the country a lot. And another specialty I like is a mashed potato pizza, and that's at Bar.
Wow.
So
All right.
those are my
Bars,
favorites.
right.
Okay,
Bars is the other
here's
one.
the deal, Josh. Since you came on, we're going to make a little trade here, okay? You send us a couple examples of the best pizza in the world, and we're going to send you some of our world-famous crawfish, and we'll just see how much you love that, okay?
I think that's a fair trade, right?
That's it. Josh, thank you for your time, and we greatly appreciate it. And we'll see what happens tomorrow, buddy. Take care.
My pleasure, guys. I think it'll be a great contest.
All right, there you go. Josh Heff, who is the ESPN Plus play-by-play for Yale Bulldogs, the voice.
And he's well in
Pizza.
tune with the pizza culture.
Now, what is it? One, you can't eat one. What is it?
There's this thing going around social media. They go around, it's called the One Bite app. They go rate all pizza places around America. And there was a big deal. New Haven, Connecticut, they
Is the
say
winner.
is the pizza capital of America. And they had a couple places, Pepe's being one, Bar is the other. And yeah, I mean,
You know what the tuition
he
is?
knows what he's talking
You know
about.
what the tuition at Yale is? It's about $60G a year.
hey,
You think Tremont Waters wanted to come get a Scully at LSU?
hey.
I think so.
Well, you can only eat so much pizza. I mean, the food down
I don't know
here.
about that now. You think of Yale, you think of the rowing.
Right.
Down there against Harvard, and you think of the parties, and you think of lacrosse, and you think of, old school foot. I mean, like you said, 300 and something years old.
Hey,
Ridiculous.
they're the smart kids.
They have some endowment money too, boy, in the billions. In the billions.
They're doing all right.
There you have it. What's coming up next, producer extraordinaire?
Well, we'll see.
We'll see?
We got
Oh,
a lot coming up.
all right,
We might as well. I mean, we got Mike Scarborough coming up later on in the show. We're gonna have to talk some football.
Do we?
We
It's
do.
basketball season.
Spring football. I mean, you can't get enough football. South
All right,
Louisiana,
we'll
LSU
take a
football.
time out here. Now I'm really hungry. And Scoreboards has phenomenal food. They
That's
have
right.
salads. They have sandwiches. They have sliders, the burgers. Ugh, delectable. Snow crabs, crawfish with all the fixings and all the trimmings. Great dessert and bread pudding and everything that goes along with it. I'm hungry. I'm going to have to order something. So let's take a time out. We'll order. We'll come back with something new and exciting.
I mean, they see the
Look at
weekly special.
What was
the
it? What-
daily special, I should say, for Scoreboard. Express lunch every day.
Every day. Open at
Tuesday
11.
through Sunday, they're open. Open at 11. Tuesday, the chicken fettuccine. Wednesday, red beans and rice. Thursday, hamburger steak. It's also steak night on a Thursday. Friday, crawfish etouffee. They have the boiled seafood all weekend. Come and get it while it's hot. Outstanding food and atmosphere. Come check out some sports this weekend. They got the tournament down in New Orleans, the gymnastics, and of course, March Madness.
Don't call me tomorrow at 11:40. Don't call me.
You'll be busy.
I'll be busy.
All right,
I'll
no
be
problem.
busy. We'll take a time out. We'll come back with more. This is Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
You just saw fans in the stands of the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. LSU basketball again taking on Yale Thursday, 11:40 a.m. True TV.
That's right.
True TV. Trivia. Yale, LSU. Common opponent they've played this year. Who is it?
Oh.
You know? Penny Hardaway, Memphis Tigers.
Memphis. Oh, yeah.
LSU played in early November, and then right after that game, Memphis hosted Yale. LSU beat Memphis. Beat Memphis by about 9 in Pete's Palace. 3 or 4 days later, Memphis hosted Yale, beat Yale in double overtime. Double overtime.
Yeah.
So, one word of advice to Tony Benford. You're an interim head coach. Interim head coaches get no respect from officials. You can't say anything to them. You will get teed up, and he did against Florida.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
In a bad spot. I mean, it was already a 3-point play. Naz Reid got called running through.
That was a terrible play. Terrible call.
Didn't like the call.
Terrible
Obviously, did it to Tony Benford, like what you mentioned. I mean, interim head coach.
It's not going to get him. It's not going to
get the leeway.
Will Wade could have said anything. He could have said something about his mother.
Right.
And they wouldn't have gotten teed up. But an interim head coach, I promise you, is going to. And that was a bad call. Yes, the foul was by Naz Reid, but they should never have counted the 3.
Right.
Because this isn't the NBA in continuation. It's not then the technical. It's a 6-point play. Ouch. Ouch. Tony Benford's learned from it. And now we've got Tony Benford now talking about LSU going into the NCAA tournament.
Well, first of all, we're extremely excited to have the opportunity to play an NCAA tournament. Our guys, we just had a little private get-together, and our guys, once our name flashed up, they were extremely excited. The hard work that they put in from day one, going back to the summer when everybody arrived in June, to all the adversity that they've gone through, and they now seeing the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, which we only have, I think, one player on our team that's played in the tournament. That's Cavell Bigsby Williams when he was at Oregon. So those guys are excited about the opportunity, and we're looking forward to playing Yale on Thursday. A quality Yale team that's well coached. I've known Coach Jones, James Jones, for a while. He does a great job with his guys, and it'll be a huge challenge for us.
Tony, it's a team that you don't see very often, especially people down here. What do you see about Yale? What do you see in?
Well, one of the things, obviously, won the Ivy League, and they've had a lot of success. 2 years ago, I think they beat Baylor in the NCAA tournament, and Coach Jones does a good job. They recruited well there. They got one kid that's, I think his last name's Oni. He's a NBA prospect, about 6'6", scoring wing, a really good player. And they have, I think, 4 guys that average double figures. Another kid that averages almost 9 a game. So, and they play up tempo. They really push the ball. They want to get up and push the ball, get out in open court, and they do a really good job. So, haven't had a chance to watch. I watched a little of the game briefly today when they played Harvard, but we're going to break them down. Coach Hire right now is already watching film on them, so we're on top of them right now.
Coach, do you know where Coach Wade watched the show today, and did you get any feedback from him on where you guys are heading, who you playing?
Yeah, I think Coach was at home with his family. I talked to him briefly after the show ended. And Coach he's very familiar, obviously been at Harvard in the Ivy League, and he's very familiar with Coach Jones and the way they play and their style of play. So he just said that they're well coached and they play pretty fast, and it'll be a good matchup for us.
With Coach, you've obviously had some communication with him. How much of a role does he kind of play, obviously, with being the head coach stuff?
What kind of role is he going to play? Well, I think Coach, he trusts all of us, myself and Coach Hire and Coach Armstrong. What we normally do, what we'll do, like we always do, and we're just going to worry about Yale. We'll focus. Coach Hire have Greg Hire, who'll have this scout, and he'll prepare. I'll look at some film on him. We may talk to Coach again, but we'll prepare. We got our guys. Like I say, I've said Coach Hire and Coach Armstrong. We're all co-coaches. We're doing this together. But we'll lock in on Yale, and our guys will be prepared to play them on Thursday.
You said you watched the Yale and Harvard game today. Did you I mean, have you watched the tape since you learned you were playing them, or you thought you were playing Harvard? Or you?
No, I just watched, looking at it briefly. I didn't watch much of it, but I knew they were talented because Harvard's talented. Harvard's got two guys that possibly NBA guys, and they had a kid that went for 38 on Harvard, a really good guard that they were playing against. But anyway, Yale is a quality team, winning Ivy League, and those guys they're pretty talented. And again, they play hard. And the one thing I think that helps us is you look at our schedule. Our non-conference schedule prepared us for our conference schedule. I think playing Florida State on the road in the Orlando tournament, that neutral site game, playing there, playing Oklahoma State, playing those teams there, that helped us kind of prepare us for what we're going to be facing. Then obviously playing us at Houston, that same area. So we play different styles in non-conference. And obviously our conference, we play teams with different styles in our conference. So that really helps you, I think, playing the SEC, prepare for any type of style of play that you're going to come up against.
I know they like to run, but most of the time when you play an Ivy League team, they like to take you deep into the shot clock, force you to play defense, and they execute, and they don't make mistakes. And this team starts 3 seniors and 2 juniors, so you can kind of expect that from them.
Yeah, they are veteran. They have a lot of experience. I was looking at their numbers. They are a very experienced team. Sometimes it's tough to change the way you want to play. They may make an adjustment. If you're averaging 80 points a game, it's tough to dial your kids down and say, hey, look, we want to keep it in the 60s. I mean, that's pretty tough. But we'll see. We'll be prepared. Whichever way they want to play, we'll be prepared. We're focused on us. Tomorrow we'll practice, and we'll obviously, like I said, we'll get the kids prepared. We'll scout DL and we'll have our guys prepared for those guys on Thursday.
Coach, looking at the game you just played, how do you feel like the team functioned? I mean, people look at the score and say it's the same as the first 2 games pretty much, or there's some things to work on with Coach Wade not there? Yeah,
I thought our scouting report, I thought it carried over into the game. We wanted to really attack the paint. We talked about our game standards, so that's getting 50 paint touches, and we were above that. We scored I think I scored on 20 points in the paint. Nas was dominant. We wanted to play through Nas, so we had the same game plan. I thought we did a great job defensively in the first half. I thought in the second half we were not as sharp as we needed to be defensively. Had some careless turnovers when they made their run, and I thought we just, down the stretch, they made some plays. They really did a good job executing. I thought we executed well down the stretch, Unfortunately, it was a call that was made that I got to keep my poise in that time there, and that when we got the technical. But moving forward, we still had a chance to win the game. We made a play. We went to our diamond press, made a play, and they hit a big shot at the end. And those games against Florida have always been, they've gone, as you guys know, the 2 overtime games. So we got some things. We got some guys that can play better, like Emmett Williams, Trayvon, Sky. We got a lot of guys that can play better than they played the other night, and they understand that. And they're excited to have a chance to, we're 0-0 now. So it's win or go home. It's no more tomorrow. So our guys know, hey, we got to leave it all out there. And that's what we're going to do.
Obviously, whenever you have a chance to win, you want to win, and I'm sure y'all are disappointed to have gone 0-1 in the SEC tournament. But is there any way you can play this to your advantage? You're going to be well rested. You guys maybe have more time to adjust to the new realities of where they are.
Yeah, I think so. I think I get back to that narrow focus. Is just taking it. We're not worried about. I don't know who we play in the second round. We don't know. Obviously, nobody knows. But we're going to just focus on Yale. Focus on us. We'll, talk about some of the things that obviously the Florida game's behind us now, but we got some things we know, like I mentioned earlier, that we got to do better defensively. We got to do a better job, containing the basketball, finishing our defensive possessions with rebounds, make sure we box out, just the fundamental things that we got to continue to do. And then offensively, we can score the basketball. We just got to, we got to make some shots. We had some good looks the other day. I thought we did a great job attacking the paint, but we hadn't been shooting well from the three-point line, so we got to make sure we'll get a lot of shots up, and, we got to continue to make some shots.
Tony, you said Friday you thought y'all were number 2 seed. Were you a little, I know 2 and 3 is not a whole lot of difference, but were you disappointed in not getting a 2? Are you okay with 3?
Yeah, if we had won, I think if we had won the Florida game and maybe gotten to Auburn and maybe one that got to the championship game, we probably could have moved up to the 2 line. But the way things played out, Auburn played really well. Obviously, what they did today, they're a quality team, and I think they ended up to a 4 or 5. I'm not sure where they're at, but we feel pretty good at where we're at there right now with playing with the 3 seed.
Coach, talking to some of the guys on Friday, they said this team kind of flowed and ebbed a little bit differently with Coach Wade obviously not there. How do you get this team back to a sense of normality and gets back where you guys really were for the rest of the season?
Well, I think right now is the reset button. We talked about this when we got back, hit the reset button. I think it was a chance for last two. We gave the guys a day off yesterday, day off today. But hey, we want to come back. We mentioned just talked briefly about hey, we're coming back, new season. Hey, we're 0-0 like everybody else in the country. We're going to be focused on getting better tomorrow and getting prepared for Yale. I mean, that's the goal is we just get ready for Yale and get ready to take it one game at a time. And, if we get fortunate enough to win this one, we'll get ready for the next opponent. So that's the way. They're excited, guys. Our guys they're excited. They've never been in an NCAA tournament. They never experienced this. I've been fortunate to play in it and experience it as a coach through my career. All our coaches have. And like I said, Cavell's the only one that's been here. So our guys are excited. I mean, they're excited to have a chance to represent our university in the NCAA tournament.
Coach, that was kind of my question. What was the mood in the room today, and who was saying what about the excitement of this?
Yeah, I tell you, all of them. Cavell, he does a lot of talking. Y'all probably don't know that, but Cavell, he's just guys. I'm just telling you guys, this is going to wait when they flash your name when LSU flashes up. You're going to be excited. And they were. I think some of them were pretty cool, laid back. And then they saw LSU playing in the East Region. They were excited. Those guys they're ready to go. I can tell you that they're ready to play and. I thought all of them were pretty excited about it.
Tony, 7 teams from the SEC made the NCAA tournament field. What does that say about the conference and how tough it is to, just go through and, put the season together that you did?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I say, it's a quality league. The best league I played in, coached in my career outside of this was the old Big East when we sent 11 teams to the tournament. Yeah, a lot of quality coaches, quality opponents then in that league. And this is similar, really deep league as far as you got quality coaches, quality players, different styles of play, and it prepares you. I think the teams in the SEC will be prepared for the NCAA tournament. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Whoever we're playing, I think we'll be the SEC will be represented really well. With the quality of teams and quality of coaches we have in this league.
Tony, as a coach who's been around for a little bit, what do you personally tell some of these guys just to get them prepared for what you can't really prepare for, the NCAA tournament?
Well, what you try to do is explain to them, we're not going to train in a routine too much as far as our preparation goes, okay? Because it's the NCAA tournament, we got to really, narrow our focus more because, hey, it's win or go home. So that's the main thing is everybody is going to be light on their legs, heavy on their mind as far as absorbing the scouting report, making sure that we do a great job of executing our scout team, make sure they assimilate what we're going to see in the game. But we'll really go back to working on our offensive execution and defensive execution and then rebounding, basically the fundamental things that we have to do. To prepare for Yale, but make sure our guys are ready to go and they understand what we have to do. Make sure they understand that.
Coach, I don't know if you were aware last time LSU went to the Final Four, started in Jacksonville, young freshman Tasman Mitchell and some others. So I don't know if that'd been mentioned to you. Have you heard that?
That has. Our legendary SID mentioned that to me right away. So he's been mentioned. But yeah, and Taz mentioned it too. So and he mentioned to some of our players. So we're excited. Hopefully. Hopefully we can make a similar run that they made. So, but we're going to prepare for Yale. That's all we're worried about is Yale right now. And our guys are going to be locked in to play those guys.
And today during LSU's 1-hour practice session in Jacksonville, Tasman Mitchell went to the spot that Darryl Mitchell took the shot to beat Texas A&M at the buzzer so LSU could survive and advance. And that's a pretty good thing.
That's a cool moment. Yeah. Coach Tony Benford knows that the team has to reset. I mean, get back to the mindset of being 0-0. Everybody has the same record going into March Madness, and got to put that Florida loss behind them and move on quickly.
No guarantees other than one game. No guarantees. Got to get through the first one. And for LSU to get through that first win, They've got to get a better performance from their veteran guard in Skylar Mays, who had a rough start against Florida. Hit some key shots down the stretch, but he was 0 for 8 at one point in time. He's got to play better. He knows that. We all know that. And he talked with us prior to leaving for Jacksonville.
Great team. There's a reason they're in the tournament. But as far as we've seen, they like to play fast, which is to our benefit as well. So I guess it's going to be a pretty good matchup for us.
Do you like that idea that, it's going to be a foot race and you guys are well equipped in that regard?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how that's been our best basketball, when we're playing fast and just getting up and down and making plays 94 feet. So, like I said, we like the matchup, but obviously they're a great team and it's going to be a challenge for us.
I know you guys pushed the reset button going forward towards the tournament. Can you explain to us a little bit of the adjustments it's been without having Coach Wade there?
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to have him here, but, we're kind of figuring it out. I think we did a poor job in the Florida game of, staying connected, which is something that's been one of our strong points throughout the year, and, things just got away from us. But we can't use Coach Wade not being there as an excuse. At the end of the day, we're the guys lacing it up. So, we're going to do a much better job of that come Thursday.
When you talk about staying connected, is that accountability with each other, reminding people what's happening when?
Yeah, I guess staying positive when the chips are down. We had a big lead at half, and it kind of let it get away from us. So it's adversity. Some calls we probably didn't like, and we kind of got away from each other instead of coming together more. And that's something that, for me as a leader, I have to do a better job of, seeing that and bringing that up within the game and not letting things get away from us.
Is that something that you guys will talk to Coach Benford about, is being tighter in that regard, maybe whereas he hasn't had to in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it. Coach Benford brought it up in film, and, it's just something that we got to do a better job of.
Do you just now prepare, look, Will was great, but this is who we are right now, and this is who we're going to be for the rest of the tournament, and try to focus like that?
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of taken on us against the world mentality, and it should be something that brings us closer together, and I think y'all will see that Thursday.
As far as the preparation, does it fall more on you guys now without Will being around?
I wouldn't say that. We have a great coaching staff. Coach Benford does a great job. Coach Hiron, Coach Armstrong. They're going to put us in the best position to win at the end of the day. So it's a matter of us executing the game plan, and I think the most important thing is, again, sticking together.
Do you feel like some of those distractions of whether Javonte will play, won't play, are kind of behind you now? You guys
Yeah, I would definitely say that. I think it's good to have a little bit more stability than what it's probably been the past couple of days, past week or so. So now that that's behind us, I think we can definitely move forward and kind of know what we've got and what we're running with, and then move on from there.
Definitely, Cavell had some advice for you guys as far as playing in the NCAA tournament game, the practice schedule, the interviews, everything. How would you kind of sum up what he's said about this experience?
Yeah, it's time-consuming, but at the end of the day, it's a first-time experience for everyone pretty much except him. So he just wants us to live in the moment and enjoy it, and hopefully we can take him to another Final Four and even past that.
What about that? You guys know whether you earned it or not, you're going to be a villain, I guess, maybe from here on out?
Yeah.
Did you get any of that in Nashville? Are you ready for all the questions coming that are...
Yeah, we definitely got it in Nashville, but at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. So we could either, fall back from it or embrace it and use it to our advantage.
What about being guard heavy like the team you guys are, and having three of you that can be so versatile? Obviously, they say guards win in March,
Yeah. I take this backcourt with anybody, and Marlon's even done a great job. I know the three you were probably talking about was me, Jay, and Trey, but Marlon's doing a great job for us. Darius does a great job when he gets in at the three as part of our bigger lineup. And, guards win in March, but we've got an unbelievable front court too. So I think we've got all the weapons to make a deep run. I think we've got all the weapons to win the whole thing.
Have you looked at Yale at all?
Yeah, like we said, they play fast. I won't be the smartest guy on the court, but yeah, great team. They're obviously well coached. Looking at the film, they run great stuff. They like to get up and down. They score a lot of points. So, and they pass the ball really well.
I'm going to screw up his name. Maye Oni, I mean, the NBA prospect. He
Right.
probably flashes on tape, right?
Oh yeah. Great player. Very aggressive. Makes plays for others. He's pretty much a do-it-all type guy. Looks about 6'7". So he's going to be a tough matchup, but we like our chances.
You guys thought at all about what the opportunity is? I mean, you were here when it wasn't like this.
Yeah.
Is it extra special, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. And on top of that, being from here, so I have a lot of great things going for me with this program, and I'm just soaking it all in and just taking it day by day.
Is it important to learn from Nashville? I mean, can you take things away from what you did or did not do to extend your staff?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said earlier, the biggest thing was not being connected, but, I think they scored maybe 50. I want to say Coach said 51 points in the second half, so we're not going to win many games like that. And we've got to do a better job of maintaining leads and not looking at it as being up 10 and, try to get up 20, things like that. So hopefully we put ourselves in more positions to be up like that and do better in that situation.
It seemed like Trey, some of the video that we got, he was really encouraging, trying to get the bench involved.
Yeah.
Has he really stepped it up even more with Will being on?
Yeah, he's always been a leader for us. He's been doing a great job. And, Trey, we know Trey's going to bring it every game, so we try to kind of rally behind him. And I think he's just done a much better job this year just being more vocal because he kind of knows what he's in for, and just happy with the growth he's shown.
What about Nas and just his first experience on this stage?
Yeah, Nas is he's a gamer. He's going to go out there and play. He's a guy who's he's not as vocal, but he's going to do everything he can to win. He's going to make sure that he gets his part of the job done. So, he's gotten much better these past couple weeks, and we hope he keeps that upward trend.
You guys had like a roller coaster season. Kind of explain like what it feels like going towards the tournament this week.
Yeah, I think it's been a roller coaster everywhere but the court. I think we're 26-6. Like we know that we're able to win a lot of games. We've won pretty much every way you can win. So we're confident when we step on the court, and I think the biggest thing for us is not letting what's going on off the court affect how we play.
That was LSU senior shooting guard Skylar Mays, a very smart kid, 4.01 GPA.
Maybe he could get into Yale.
Won't be the smartest kid on the court this Friday. LSU, Yale square off, 11:40. True TV. Not going to even try to guess what that is on the old dial here in Baton Rouge, but you can find it on your own. True TV, 11:40.
10:51 if you're Cox. 10:51.
There you go.
Okay.
He knows everything. Jordy Holberg, appreciate it. That was Skylar Mays. As you know, they'll square off against the number 13 seeded Yale Bulldogs. Want to let you hear from some Yale players and hear about how Josh Heff spoke about how well-spoken these guys are.
Yes.
This is after a big win against Harvard to win the Ivy League championship. Here are some Yale players, including seniors Alex Copeland and junior Maye Oni. Take it away.
You almost willed your team to a victory, it felt like, in the second half. You weren't going to let your team lose. Is that how you felt?
It didn't really feel like that. I felt like our whole team, especially our group of seniors, didn't want this to be our last game. I looked at Blake, I looked at Trey, and even T-Rye on the bench, and we all said, we're not going out like this. Not in New Haven, not in front of our fans, not in this building. And I don't know. I didn't want this to be it. I didn't want this to be it.
You worked so hard all year and you're here. Can you believe you're going to the tournament?
It feels surreal. I see some of my teammates that were on that team that were seniors when I was a freshman. And I remember some nights we would have, and we were hanging out at the basketball house, to ask them, how did you guys get there? I was trying to pick their brain and trying to get some of those things. And now seeing some of those guys here to watch us do as seniors, it feels incredible.
You guys are down in the second half. You get a fourth foul. Talk about Alex and just how he stepped up.
I mean, I've been telling Alex all year, you got to go. Sometimes you just got to go. Play loose. We're both from LA. That's how we know to play. Play loose. That's how we grew up. I've known him since we were 8 years old, so we have a close bond. So it's I'm just telling him, if I'm not going, you got to go. I was in foul trouble. He picked it up beautifully. That's just what a team is. It's tough because on their end, they have one guy doing most of the work, and we have a whole collective effort, and that's what prevailed in the end.
Yeah, you're going to the NCAA tournament. How's it feel?
Feels great. Can't wait to get my dancing shoes on. That's all I'm thinking about right now.
It was a dogfight, but it's all you could ask for. I mean, we came together, we fought together, and we knew it was going to be like that from the jump. So just to come together like that and to play with heart and to play with fight, I couldn't ask for much more out of my brothers.
It means everything. I couldn't, it couldn't be written better. I feel so blessed and honored to play for this program and play with these guys every day and come to work with these guys every day. I'm just so happy to be going back to the tournament and get a chance to play these things.
Man, this is just years of hard work and just focus and just, I can't even speak right now, but it feels so good. Ever since my sophomore year when we lost that undefeated Princeton team, we knew we had to get back, and when we got here, we knew it wasn't nothing that was going to stop us.
You've battled Harvard so many times in your career. They jump out in the second half, take a lead. How do you say to yourself, hey, here we go again? How do you stay within yourself and keep battling?
I mean, we knew we had a lot of veterans, a lot of leadership out there. We just had to make their young guys make mistakes and just, contain and just, put together everything we've been doing since August. So it means a lot.
So nothing better than hoisting that trophy, and Pops is looking down from heaven on his son. Trey Fields, very, very proud of him. That means nothing now. We're back to scratch, 0-0. And again, Thursday, 11:40, LSU and Yale. We'll take a timeout when we come back here on Tigers Roar, live from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. We will talk LSU football recruiting. Mike Scarborough makes his weekly visitation. For Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Hultberg. We'll be right back for Tigers Roar.
Taste the feeling.
Oh, great party.
Oh, thanks for coming, guys.
You better get that car warmed up.
I'm on it.
I don't miss those days.
Yeah, we just had a remote start installed.
Oh, us too. Nice.
It's gonna be nice and toasty.
Why don't we have one of those?
We're fine.
Okay, I can't feel my fingers.
I bet everyone else can.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar, live from Scoreboard's Grill and Catering, where it's a picnic and a party every day and every night, Tuesday through Sunday, 11 a.m. till. Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Helperg. It's time for our weekly chat about LSU football and recruiting. Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, kind enough to join us. Michael, I know it's basketball season, baseball season. Football's kind of taken a little of a back seat, so please inform us. Spring practice, they've had about 3 or 4 under the belt now. What have you seen? What can you share with us?
Yeah, I've been to all of them but one, and of course, none of the media were allowed at the scrimmage on Saturday. But the official LSU site tweeted out a clip of Derek Stingley getting a pick on Jamar Chase, and I was told even before that scrimmage that it's been an epic battle between Derek Stingley Jr. and Jamar Chase in every practice. That those two are absolutely going to make each other better.
That's great.
So, and then the previous practice before that, I was out there and just really paid attention to what Coach Brady was doing with the wide receivers, and I kind of tweeted something out this weekend that it's absolutely true when Coach Orgeron has said several times that the offense is all new. We hear that, we've heard that every year, and but in this case, from what I'm getting from wide receivers, someone who's been to practice, every practice, and not just a media guy, someone who watches all of it, that there isn't a single wide receiver route that's carried over from last year. So between all that and trying to find a right combination on the offensive line, Chase on back, I just think that there's a lot for LSU fans to be excited about. But like you said, it's as soon as spring practice started, that the next day Will Wade got suspended, and that kind of sucked the oxygen out of the room.
Gotcha.
Mike, another big story out of spring practice is the return of the Big Cat drill. Are the young guys really digging that, or is it team building? What's going on with the Big Cat drill?
Yeah, I seem to remember when Miles was doing it. I thought you could kind of tell which coaches didn't really care for it, on the staff. And I know when Orgeron first took over, he was asked about the Big Cat, and he wasn't too enthusiastic about it. But something changed his mind. He said the players asked for it. they brought it back. I guess it's okay as long as nobody gets hurt.
Yeah,
Right.
You're absolutely right about that. Meanwhile, you've got Pro Day coming up. You've got Junior Day coming up. And that's always a big to-do for LSU in recruiting.
Yeah. And look, they've been hosting recruits every weekend and during the week. It really is astonishing to see the number of kids from out of state that are paying their own way and making long-distance drives to visit LSU. The recruiting calendar obviously has been moved up in a much quicker pace because of the early signing period. But it's been very impressive to see what the LSU coaches and all the folks in the recruiting office, what they've been getting done. They had a big group of juniors there on Saturday. You had some 21 and 22 kids there. We're starting to see a rise in the number of class of 2022 kids getting offers. So big news today. Major Burns, the cornerback from Madison Prep, got an offer. Of course, he's committed to Texas A&M. I know he was getting a bit aggravated because of the delay in the LSU offer. Got upset after the first junior day when it didn't happen. But now he doesn't have to wait till the spring evaluation period or even camp. He got one today. So that's got a lot of Aggies nervous because he really is a very good defensive back. I know there's some debate whether he is a true corner or if he's going to have to be a nickel or a safety. But there's no denying how tall he is, the length of his arms. I've seen him multiple times, and we'll see if LSU can get him flipped. But they're nervous in College Station today.
Well, that's always a good thing. We like Jimbo being a little bit nervous. He can't climb up that ladder all that quickly. What is the... Every year there's a certain position in the state of Louisiana where the athletes are the most strong. What is this upcoming class? What is the strength of it in the state of Louisiana?
Obviously you don't have a number one corner like you did last year in Stingley, but DBs are always going to be in abundance. But to me, it's defensive line. I mean, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, Jalen Lee at Live Oak. You got Keenan Caldwell up at Oak Grove, who's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, the defensive line group this year, to have that number of kids in a class, to me, that stands out. I don't know if there's going to be a position that has more kids with high offers is D-line, but because that's such a premium position, to me, that's the marquee position in this class in Louisiana.
The NCAA basketball tournament is about to start, and not to bring up a negative situation, but with the situation dealing with Will Wade, what does that do to LSU basketball recruiting? Is that just on a freeze right now? I mean, who's going to come here, right?
Yeah, Jordy, it's a mess. Is there a scenario when they're running all the different scenarios in Oliva's office with attorneys and where there is, how big of a factor is saving this recruiting class in their decision? Can they afford to wait till after the trial to make a move? If they have any information now that leads them to believe that there's a probation coming, or they see evidence that that there's nothing Will Wade can say that's going to make this thing better, is it a deal where you can make a move on Wade and try and hire a coach, and even at this late stage, can you even, what can you do to save this recruiting class?
Right. That's.
And then, or let's say if Will Wade gets reinstated, is he all of a sudden going to finish with the three guys he wanted? Wofford, Sy, and Quinones.
Yeah, that's the big question mark. There's a lot of tentacles that come out of this mess that we don't have the answer to, and we'll see.
Right. So Jordy, you combine that with who's going to leave early.
Oh, right. Yeah. Be a whole different look next year. Whole different look. Whole different look. Okay. Joe Burrow, much more confident, much more comfortable from what you've seen. Looks like. I think he's going to be the guy that wears number 18. Does that make any sense to you?
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he has that type of leadership.
Yeah. It's been a long time since.
I think it's a good thing for Miles Brennan, who's now up to 207 pounds, and I think you got to give him some credit for sticking around.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, I think Joe Burrow has been a very much a positive for Miles Brennan. So, that's still you still have have the same question going into this year as you had last year. Do you have a true number 2 quarterback? And
did you put Cardell Thomas on your Mike Scarborough weight loss plan?
Yeah,
He looks thin.
I put a story up yesterday. He was talking about he started at, I want to say 363. He's down to 336. He wants to get to 330 or 328. And you can see it in a photo that he tweeted out the other day. And he's, doing tuna straight out of the bag, eating grapefruit, cut out soda.
There you go.
And so, yeah, he's ready to roll.
All right, Mike, tell us what's going on. I mean, how big is your site now? My gosh, with all the things that you have to cover, it's got to be enormous.
Yeah. It never stops, and we're cranking it out at TigerBait.com, recruiting football, baseball, basketball coverage, and we'll be live blogging tomorrow morning for the basketball game.
If you were here, you would have seen that they just handed us a platter of crawfish. So next time, come on. I know you're busy. I know you have plans, but come visit us.
Yeah, definitely. I might come by next week.
All right. That's Mike Scarborough, TigerBait.com, and the dessert is coming as well, Jonathan. Your favorite, my favorite, the bread pudding. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more here from Scoreboards Grill and Catering. This is Tiger's Roar.
Smells delicious.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
The Acord Eye Clinic has moved to a new office, just minutes from the old office at 8280 YMCA Plaza Drive, Building 9. Dr. Shonda Acord and her staff welcome patients of all ages, including children and adults. They have a wide variety of frames and sunglasses, including Maui Jim. The Acord Eye Clinic features modern instruments and state-of-the-art technology, including digital retinal scanning with Optomap, hard-to-fit contact lenses, as well as professional care and service. Open Monday through Friday, 8 till 5. Call for an appointment, 225-767-EYES, and visit the website, visionsource-br.com. The Acord Eye Clinic looks forward to seeing you.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
right, we're back to Tigers Roar, back to wrap things up from Scoreboard's Grill and Catering. Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Helper. It's a busy slate. We've got Nicholls State LSU baseball taking place as we speak. LSU basketball opens up the NCAA tournament on Thursday. LSU baseball goes on the road against Georgia in Athens. LSU gymnastics Saturday in the Smoothie King Center. It just goes on and on and on.
Well, whatever your cup of tea, whatever your flavor, there are sports this weekend for you in the land of Tiger athletics. And really, it's a privilege. It's a privilege to have so many teams doing so well.
And they are doing well.
At clutch times of the year.
I'm taking LSU over Yale. I don't think it's going to be an easy one. I don't think it's going to be a double-digit type of a game. I think it's going to be a single-digit. LSU's going to have to play well. Yale shoots the ball exceptionally well. I just don't think Yale has the ability in 40 minutes to stay in front of Tremont Waters. The key to the ball game, Naz Reid, Cavell Bigby-Williams cannot pick up early fouls. Right. They've got to be able to stay in the game and play 30, 35 minutes. There is no tomorrow, so you know the bench is going to be thin. They're going to play 7 or 8, and you got to stay out of foul trouble and get your rest when you need it. TV timeouts are a lot longer in the NCAA tournament because it's a multi-billion-dollar business, so they've got to get all those spots in. So you'll have plenty of time to rest and get ready.
You mentioned it earlier, not the typical Ivy League team. They really like to get out run the court, and score a lot of points. Average just about the same as LSU at over 81 a game. Right. So that kind of plays into LSU's game. They like to get out and run.
Difference is they're playing Cornell, they're playing Harvard, they're not playing Tennessee, Kentucky, Mississippi State. But for their league, they're pretty darn good. And they can shoot the basketball, and that is always the key come tournament time.
I mean, I think it plays into LSU's hands that they like to play up-tempo as well. Tony Bedford got to have this team ready to play mentally. It's as big as it is physically being ready to play.
The whole, again, you just got to regard it as a basketball game. And they'll think of that once they get into the flow of it. Get through that first TV timeout, then settle in and play. And they should be fine. If LSU is successful, they'll take on the winner of Maryland and Belmont Saturday at a time yet to be determined. I don't know if that's going to be in the afternoon or a primetime game. I'm not sure about that yet, but it'll be in Jacksonville. Kentucky's there as well, so they'll have some big crowds because nobody travels like Kentucky does in basketball. So you got a Final Four pick? You got a winner in this thing? You know yet, or are you going to reserve your right?
I reserve my right, but I got to give a shout out to the Jaguar women going to play Mississippi State in the women's NCAA tournament. Great job at the Jaguars, winning the SWAC.
Mississippi State. One and done. For everyone involved with the program, for all the great people at Scoreboard's Grill and Catering, we certainly appreciate you housing us yet again. For Jonathan Poche, I'm Jordy Helper. See you next time on Tigers Roar.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart.